I wanted to put together a quick video to talk about one of the most commonly misunderstood things that I work with on a daily basis, and that's the confusion around credit scoring. It's a weird and challenging thing to try to unpack the algorithm, so we're not going to do that. I'm going to boil it down to several little things. So if you have a credit score, it's made up largely of how you use your credit. 10% of it is your new credit. How much of it is brand new to you? 10% of the types of credit used. Is it a long-term loan like a home loan, or is it a short-term loan like a credit card where it just revolves? 15% of it is your length of history. How long have you had those types of credit and how well have you used them? Which brings us to our next thing, your payment history. About 35%, no shocker here, of your credit score, the largest part, is based on your payment history and performance. Have your payments been made on time? 30% is based on your amounts owed. Something that might be shocking to most people is that if you use all of your credit, if you have $100,000 in total available credit and you use all of it, it's bad. But if you also use very little of it, it's also bad as far as your score is concerned. Total available outstanding credit is kind of a weird, confusing thing, so don't spend a whole lot of time trying to focus on it. Just live your life. Don't freak out if your score is not 800 or 700. Most financial institutions work with people with credit scores of 680 and above. And if your score is below that, you can work on those things that I just mentioned to improve your score over time. It's about long term, not about short term. So think about it in the context of years, not of how you feel in the moment when you get your score back. Another commonly misunderstood thing is, why do I have 3 scores? Well, the reason is that there are 3 major credit bureaus: Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And not all the inputs to all 3 credit bureaus are quite the same. So the scores might have some deviation, and frankly, there's little differences in how they interpret the models for each institution. So what do most institutions do? They take all 3 scores and they'll take the middle one to be your credit score for the purposes of getting credit with them. Some institutions will only pull 1. That's the one you get, that's the one they pull. If you ever want to see your credit score, you can ask for it, but some institutions will also come back to you and say, hey, we can't give it to you, we're not a credit reporting agency. They'll give you the name and number of the agency where they got your information from, and that's who you'll contact to get a copy of your report. If you work on those things and don't obsess on the numbers over time, you'll have a good score too.